Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Monogatari of and Monster Season episode number 11 reaction. So the previous episode, we had Aragi got more information from Higasa and Kanbaru, and he got to know that the girls missing from the basketball club is actually connected to the whole vampire situation. And 5 of the girls are missing and 3 of the girls have been found, so 2 are still missing. In return of in exchange for giving Aragi the information about the girls, Higasa and Kanbaru asks him to take care of the situation and find the girls, at which Aragi says like, okay, I'll do it. He promises them. And later on we also get to see a little bit of the investigation, what's going on. Gain tells Aragi to keep Shinobu suppressed for that day and not let her come out. Eventually, we had a little bit of Shinobu, talking to Aragi, few things here and there, and then eventually we go out to Hachikuji's place, to the shrine, and this is where we met Dystopia. However, Dystopia is all shriveled up. It seems like she's not feeding from the looks of it. So, up until now, I was thinking that Dystopia is the one doing this. I'm pretty sure everyone thought that. But now that this is the case, I'm wondering who is the one who's doing all of this. Because if she's so much shriveled, she's not feeding, that means. So anyways, I'm sure I'll get my answer as I keep watching. But now at least we have to Aragi has to go to hell to bring a certain component that will help bring Dystopia back, which he goes, but he finds Princess Acerola over there, which again is kind of, I don't know, it makes no sense because Shinobu's outside. Like, what's going on? So let's see what happens in today's episode, and let's get the explanations, because I have a lot of questions after the previous episode. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. Oh, the Zoko Monogatari. Yep. Yeah. Oh, is he getting affected? Yeah. Yup. Mm, yeah. Oh god, he's getting affected. Oh, I see. Is that why? So this is heaven. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Regret my survival. Yeah. I see. Because yes, Suicide Master is currently in danger. Mr. Land, Miss believe. Interesting. Ecosystem endangered species. Yeah, because okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, why did she bring them here? What? Okay, she's saying some confusing stuff. She will not drink it. I see. That makes sense. Sweet remedy for. Yeah, from Kiss Shot. Yep. Oh no. Will he be okay if she takes out the mask? What? Yeah. Oh, this is the opening. Yep, it's going to be the same style as the others. Like Shinobu's openings don't have any vocals. Okay. Damn. Oh, Shinobu Monogatari. Shinobu Mustard. Okay, he's back. What happened? Yeah, you tearing out his cowlick and it grew back. Uh, well, makes sense. Yeah, I'm hurt. The plate. Oh, because Aragi took action on his own. She told him that, bruh. Oh, yeah, there's something in his mouth. Right, makes sense. What did she like? Did Asura, Princess Asura, like medicine use? Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, bruh. And it is her saliva, so she's going to consume it because it's Asura, Princess Asura's. Okay, stop. Yeah, yeah. Take some time. Huh. Tomorrow evening. No, like, yes, I guess, but I doubt it's her. I just realized that the lights went out. Huh. Oh. Oh. Exactly. And I'm pretty sure it's same for the other girls as well. Misago Kango. What? Reservoir? Oh my god. Yeah. Like, someone actually tried to kill her. Yeah. It's someone else. Hmm. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Ma- Hmm. Oh, another code? Oh, okay. That's the code? True. Yeah, so someone else is doing the code. Hmm. So someone else is trying to pin this on Swiss. Who? Okay. Yeah, there you go. Right. Who? Hmm. Hmm. Like she leaves the name behind his. I see. Right. That is true. Hmm. Yeah, where was the code? I'm sure it wasn't underwater. Let's be under two. Oh. Hmm. He needs to go and ask her friend, his friend. What was her name? I forgot. Yeah. True. That is also a big good point. Hmm. Okay. The whole mountain. Yeah. Okay. My. What? Wait. So she found her a week ago. Yeah. Hmm. Ah. That's why. That's wow. Yep. That's what she says. Okay. Like a police officer. Okay. Well. Yep. Hmm. Okay. She's eaten a donut. Okay, so she found her after 1 week. Right. Hmm. So okay. Hmm. Ah. Yeah, I guess. because she's a fan. Hmm. Yeah, she's a gourmet. Oh yeah, she did promise that as well. Yep. Yep. Yeah, she's even younger now. It looks damn. Yep. Yeah, so it is obvious someone else is pinning the blame on her to go crazy with the vampire stuff. Yeah. New possibility, which is no, I doubt that. I think she said it. She just wants to talk to her. Yeah. Hmm. God of strolls. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. General hospital. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. So before that, we'll have to end it. Hmm. Hmm. That was today's episode. Okay, today was we got more deeper into the investigation and figured out that yeah, it is not Dystopia that is doing all of this. Which obviously it makes sense. She herself has alibi. Not only that, as Shinobu says, that after that day she hasn't taken. She's a gourmet. She doesn't want to consume anything other than Shinobu's blood, or like her anything like related to her. Other than that, she's not going to consume. That is also the reason why Princess Acerola in heaven told Araragi that, oh, she's not going to consume anything other than like anything that is produced from me. So that's why she gave him the saliva. Otherwise she wouldn't like eat, and she wouldn't consume it. So that in itself proves that she's not the one who is going ham with the with like with the stuff that is going on. So that means that some vampire is doing all of this. This vampire, whoever is doing this, is taking advantage of the situation that Dystopia is here, and this vampire is trying to pin the blame on her. And who knows, maybe it's this vampire only, like maybe it is this vampire that made Dystopia like this. So that's what they like Aragi guy, and that's what they're thinking now. So basically they're thinking that some other vampire taking advantage of Dystopia's coming over here, like made her like this, and then is trying to pin the blame on her so that nobody tries to figure out who the actual who the actual person is who's doing all of this. So that's why they're deliberately writing the like the codes and everything, and stuff like that. But it's kind of interesting. Like, here's the thing: the fact that someone could, and it's also another thing that I never thought about, which Shinobu literally says. She says like prime numbers. I'm pretty sure like Dystopia doesn't know what prime numbers is. Neither do I. I never thought about that, which is true. Like if they had to make a code, they wouldn't make a code like this, which is like these type of logical reasoning type of codes. They're not going to do that, because they're not capable of doing it. So now that I'm thinking about it, this also means whichever vampire is doing this, they are pretty smart, or they are pretty I guess you could say they have they have a like they know how to make these type of like codes. So someone who's as intelligent as Aragi and that girl who we saw, who the Aragi's new friend, like maybe I'm thinking here, like it'll be kind of interesting if in the end we get to know that the actual like the person who's doing all of this is actually that girl. The girl Aragi's friend who broke the code, because that's the only character we have seen here in this show up until now, except Araragi, like other than Araragi, who can break a code that quickly. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it turns out she's actually a vampire, and she's the one who's doing all of this. Because I'm trying to think any other person who comes to my mind that is this smart and can make codes like this quickly. Nobody's coming to my head. Araragi and this girl is the only one. Maybe Sodachi, but I doubt Sodachi is the one doing any of this, because Sodachi is not a vampire. So other than Sodachi, Araragi, and this girl, I don't think there's any other character here who can make codes like this, like arithmetic codes like this. Is there anyone here? I don't think so. So either they're going to introduce someone new, or we're going to find out that one of the characters that we already know is the person who's doing this. If that's the case, if latter's the case, that happens, that we find out that there's already this person we already know, then the only person who it can be is that girl, because it's not Sodachi, it's not Araragi, so it's that girl. But if they decide to introduce someone new, then that's different. That's a completely different thing. Like maybe we'll get to see someone else, like a new character getting introduced, like a new vampire. So yeah. So and this vampire should also have like this amount of like intelligence when it comes to like arithmetic codes and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So it actually wouldn't surprise me if the revelation in the end is like, oh, that girl, the glasses girl, is the one who is doing all of this, and she's a vampire. It wouldn't surprise me if that's actually what happens. So yeah, so let's wait and see. Like it's 50-50. It's either that or it's a completely new character that they'll introduce. Because I don't think I'm missing anyone. I'm trying to think if there's anyone as intelligent as, at least when it comes to like arithmetic stuff. Like I'm trying to think if there's anyone like Araragi and Sodachi who can make stuff like this. I'm not really finding anyone. Araragi and Sodachi are the only two, and this new girl that we met in the previous episode. Yeah. You know what? Let's wait and see. Yeah. So that was that. So yeah, that is what's going on now, and dystopia, turns out dystopia is not really uh, the, the person who's doing all of this, or at least that's the speculations. And it is, and I've said this from the previous episode only. I was like, either dystopia is doing this because someone is telling her to do this, or she's not the one who's doing any of this. It's someone else. And as soon as I saw dystopia being completely shriveled here, I was like, oh, then yeah, it's definitely not her, because it wouldn't make sense. Also, like the fact that we literally got another victim today, even though dystopia is just like stuck over here. Yeah, that kind of proves it. Right. Like, here's the thing. Whoever's the like, who's the person doing all of this, I would assume this person doesn't know that dystopia is now stuck over here, because if they knew, they wouldn't make another victim, because that would be literally like this person who's doing all of this is trying to pin the blame of dystopia. So if this person knows that dystopia is now stuck like this, they wouldn't make a do this again and make another victim, because then that will prove like dystopia is not the one doing it, because she has an alibi. So maybe I think whoever is doing this, maybe that person doesn't know that dystopia is like stuck over here, and that's why they again made a sucked someone's blood. Otherwise, like, it defeats the whole purpose on trying to pin the blame on dystopia if they know that dystopia is stuck now and they're still sucking blood, because you're literally just proving it that, oh, dystopia is not the one doing this. I don't know. You know what? Yeah, next episode, I'm assuming we'll get more answers to it. Either way, for now we have to figure out who this is, like what's going on, and I feel like we're going to get a lot of information as soon as dystopia wakes up, because she knows the best what's happening. So we'll have to wait for I think like midnight or something, I forgot which. Yeah, midnight. We have to wait up until then, and before that, Aragi is now off to find out decipher the code, and she is going back to that girl again. Not only that, Gain is going to do her own stuff, while Hachiko is out patrolling. So everyone's doing their thing, and everyone will meet at night when dystopia wakes up. So that is the situation, and they'll have to do this before the next day morning. Otherwise, as Ari says, it's not because we are feeling sorry for the people who are getting affected, or obviously we are getting sorry for the people that are getting affected, and because of the whole the justice of the situation, we want to bring the girls justice. That is definitely the reason, but the biggest reason why they want to do this before next day is because Kagami is coming, and as we know, as Gain says, that I am not really an extremist, I'm a moderate, so technically since I'm a moderate what do you call it, specialist, yeah, I'm not really that much hell bent on completely like wiping out dystopia, even though she's the one who she got involved in this. But other specialists, like I guess Kaganui, they won't be this like lax about it. So we have to complete this before Kaganui comes in, because if she comes in, she'll probably try to wipe out dystopia, or something like that she's going to do. Right, so we have to do that before she comes in. And obviously, I doubt Shinobu would like that. So yeah, they have to complete this before any of that stuff happens. Right, and that is why we are at a little bit of hurry. Now let's see what happens. Let's wait for dystopia to wake up, and let's get more information. Also, the whole section with Princess Acerula is very interesting. I was just saying, like, how the hell is Acerula there? Makes no sense. They did give us an explanation as to why Acerula is there. Okay, so let me read this section. Aragi explains it over here. Where's that one? Oh, here it is. Just like how I was separated from my vampirism and sent down to hell for several months. The whole Koyomi Monogatari ending, where Gain literally just wipes him out. Right, and he falls to hell. When Princess Acerula turned into Kiss Shot Acerula on Heart Under Blade 600 years ago. Okay, the beautiful soul that died then separated from her body and ascended to heaven. That is very interesting. So, as we all know, the reason why Shinobu or Kiss Shot can talk to people now, and like normal human beings, and the other person doesn't try to kill themselves because of her beauty. The only reason she can do it now is because, number one, she became a vampire, and that is why her being a vampire, the king of oddities, was the reason why that negative aspect of it kind of counterbalances the beautiful soul. So her beauty is counterbalanced by the fact that she is the king of oddities. Now, obviously, like, it doesn't matter whether Shinobu is good or bad, whether she's doing evil stuff or just doing good stuff, doesn't matter. What matters here is her image. So whenever people call, at least this is how I see it, whenever people call her the king of oddities, or like all the other nicknames that they've given her, they look at her in a scary manner, like they're scared about her, they're very fearful of her. And obviously, fear equals respect as well. That's why they respect her, worship her as well. But that is the main thing. When everyone calls you the king of oddities, or like the something like that, yeah. So that brings out a negative aspect of her. Her name in itself, her reputation in itself, is something negative, which counterbalances her beautiful soul. That is why it balances each other, and her whole beautiful soul gets suppressed. And that is why she can at least talk to people now, without making them just take their own life. So that is the whole thing. So here, as a concept, the beautiful soul, Aragi is saying, that died that day. In that sense, as soon as she became the king of oddities, since that counterbalances this, that beautiful soul died and separated from her body and ascended to heaven, just like Aragi's vampirism went out and he went to hell. So that is the explanation, which I guess it makes sense. And like that is why this beautiful soul, who obviously is Princess Acerola, the embodiment of beauty, is now in heaven. Like obviously, someone like beautiful Princess Acerola cannot really go to hell. It makes no sense. So that's why she went to heaven. And since Araragi was going to go to hell, Princess Acerola wanted Aragi to actually help out Dystopia. So that is why instead of going to heaven, Princess Acerola stopped him midway and just grabbed him and brought him to heaven, like forcefully, so that she can give him her saliva, which he could go and give to Dystopia, so that she comes back to life. And that whole thing. So that is what's happening here. It makes sense now, I guess. But yeah, that's very interesting because I actually thought in the previous episode that this is some kind of illusion, like he's actually in hell, and because he's in hell, this is like some kind of an illusion that he's going through. And because in my head I'm like, how is it possible? In no way is Princess Asurula here because Shinobu's there. But now they give us the explanation. I'm like, oh, okay, so that makes sense, I guess. And and that is why like Princess Asurula here is in heaven. And since Princess Asurula wants to help Dystopia, she brought Aragi here to give him the whole thing. And you can see Princess Asurula here says, like, I myself feel responsible because if she never met me, this wouldn't have happened. Like she stopped like feeding after she met me, and she more and more I watched her, more and more she became frailer and frailer, and then she just regressed into a child. And now she's even regressed more into a child. You can see now, like if Shinobu looks like a, I don't know, like a 12 to 13-year-old kid, no, that's a bit too much, I guess. 10. Shinobu looks like a 10-year-old kid. Dystopia now looks like a 5-year-old kid. That's how much she has regressed. So that is why Princess Asurula, even though she's in heaven, she still blames herself or feels responsible for the whole situation, and that's why she wants to help out Dystopia, and that's why she brought Aragi over there to help her out. Right. Huh. Yeah, and yeah, there you go. That was today's episode. Um, that was that. Let's wait for the next one, and I'm sure we'll get more answers over there. Like the biggest question, obviously, the biggest mystery for now is that who is this vampire that is doing all of these things? And trying to put the blame on Dystopia. Who is this person? There you go. So yeah, and that was today's episode. And that was my overall impressions. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, you can see Aragi is in heaven, and in front of him is Princess Asurula, and you can see immediately Aragi starts just having those, like he's like kneeling down, and he's like, oh, why am I here? Like he's again getting affected, even though Princess Asurula is wearing a mask and everything, and Aragi tries to like kind of like stabilize himself, and he's like, oh no, I have to get myself together. Okay, so yeah, and then Princess Asurula says, like, you didn't come to heaven, I'm the one who brought you here. And yeah, she also explains about how the just like Aragi says, like how my vampirism and I went to hell, my vampirism was separated and I went to hell. Is that how you also went to heaven after your beautiful soul got separated? And she's like, yeah. Right, so why do you call me to heaven? Okay, so anyways, Princess Asurula says, come with me, I have to like talk to you. Okay, so Princess Asurula says that this place is actually resembling the place where I lived, and the first place I destroyed, that is her hometown. And here Aragi says, like, Princess Asurula, wouldn't it have been a country that would fall to ruin someday even if you weren't there? Which is true, as like as Princess Asurula says, oh, so you're talking about everything will inevitably fade. All that is fair will inevitably fade. No matter how beautiful, it will fall to ruin someday. Is that what you're trying to say, Lord Aragi? In a way, I guess you can also say this kind of matches with the whole memento mori as well, like everything, like eventually you will die, or like something like that. It's kind of like that, like eventually everything will come to ruin. If so, as I have gained eternity by having Suicide Master drink my blood, you can say that I am all too avaricious. I regretted my survival. And this is where she starts talking about how she regrets it. She feels responsible for the situation. I should have died before I met Suicide Master. Yeah, so Aragi says this princess doesn't regret that the blood got sucked, but she regrets that she allowed it to happen because it affected Suicide Master a lot more than her. Okay. Um. Okay. So here she says, therefore, I feel I am interfering with things, but I cannot help but pull you up as you were willing to fall to hell for her. Right. So she's like, like I have an opportunity to let me try to help him out because he's ready to fall to hell. Yeah, but Alex says you shouldn't be worried about this, could you? Vampires are destined to drink others' blood. You know, I can say this because I myself have become a vampire. But vampires drinking blood is different from Mr. Lion or Miss Bear assaulting humans. Yeah, so she says like obviously like vampires and drinking blood is different from just like natural like animals like attacking you and stuff or natural stuff. Um, okay, so here we go. I believe speaking of vampires who feed on humans on relative terms to carnivorous elements is unreasonable. After all, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm trying to understand this thing because this part kind of goes over my head. Um, However, if that point turns out to be the same, it means that I have changed the ecosystem of endangered species. Vampire, human, carnivores, herbivores. Oh, okay. So she says that she's the reason why like vampires are not okay. That may be a heavier sin. I think so. It may be a little bit too late already. In terms of protecting an endangered species, I would like to save Suicide Master. Yeah, there you go. Okay, anyway, so Aragi after that is like, oh, so why do you bring me over here? Is there something over here that could help her out? Like, I was going to go to hell to bring that thing out and like feed it to her so that she can recover, but you brought me here. So is there like an alternative over here that you can give me? Otherwise, why would you bring me over here? Which is a good question, obviously. Which is where Asarola says like, no, like, not really. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Princess Asura starts talking in such a very complicated manner. Okay, he says, is it closer and easier to gather from here? So Asura says that heaven does not have a blood pond hell. It exists as much as a place for myself, and Lord Aragi does not exist in a realm. Who talks like this? She makes it so overly complicated. I guess she's a princess. She's supposed to be talking like this, I guess. Right. So Arag is like, okay, so no Arag is allowed. She just says something terrible. Can this be a warning that what we're doing is completely missing the mark? Even if we were to scoop up glass full of medicine, yeah, it won't help her. At which she says, no, that's not what I meant. Wait a minute. However, okay, there you go. This is where she says that she won't drink it, and obviously, she says like she's a gourmet, she's never going to drink it, and and she says how she saw how dystopia after like every single day never fed like on anything, and little by little regressed into a child. And so she's like, yeah, she's not going to consume anything other than me. So that's why I brought you over here to give you. And okay, so here's the thing. I'm assuming Shinobu also won't really work in this situation. Like Shinobu's blood, or like anything Shinobu related. Because Shinobu now isn't really Princess Acerola. She's like a different type of an entity. She's Kishore Acerola Heart under Blade. She is, like the king of oddities. So maybe, like only Princess Acerola's blood would work and she would consume it, probably because, maybe that's why. And I'm assuming like Shinobu, like even if it's Shinobu's blood, she wouldn't consume it. I don't know. You know what? Let's wait. I think we might get an explanation to that, because if you think about it, this is Princess Acerola, the person who Dystopia wanted to consume, who wanted to feed on her. However, the one, since we know that the Shinobu now isn't really Princess Acerola, her goodness of her heart has changed. Yeah, they are the same person, but they are kind of different now. So will like Dystopia be that nitpicky about it? Will she be like, oh, even though you are Shinobu, you're the same person, still you're not Princess Acerola, so I'm not going to consume your blood? Is that going to be the case, or is she not going to be that nitpicky and be like, oh, you're Shinobu, you were Princess Acerola, it's fine? Because I'm trying to think, because as we all know, she's not going to consume any other blood, and but Shinobu's here, so is she opposed to consuming Shinobu's blood because technically Shinobu is not really Princess Acerola now, or is she okay with it? Is she not that much nitpicky about it? We'll see. Let's wait. I think we might get our answer later about that. Either way, so this is where Princess Acerola is like, I have something that I want to give you, that is something that she's going to consume. So she's like, close your eyes. So he closes his eyes. Princess Acerola takes out her mask, and obviously she took out the mask because she had to put her saliva in him. So she went and kissed him mouth to mouth. Yeah, and I was like, what is she putting in his mouth? I was thinking maybe a part of her body or something, like tongue or something, maybe she bit off her tongue, and I don't know, that would be kind of gruesome, but it makes more sense. It's saliva, that's the easiest thing to yeah. Right. So, and then we had the opening. Okay, yeah, the opening. Obviously, like I said, I've seen Shinobu's opening never has vocals. But it's kind of interesting because they do, all the other characters, they have all the voice actresses, they do the opening songs. For example, what's her name? Kana Hanazawa for we literally had what's her name? Nadeko's opening, Kana Hanazawa, Sayori Hayami, Saito Chiwa, the particular opening songs, they do it. The Shinobu's never had one, and it's kind of interesting because Maya Sakamoto, Shinobu's voice actress, actually does sing. She is a singer. I've heard a lot of her songs, and she sings actually pretty well. So I've always found it interesting that why she never she never does the opening, because she is a singer. I would expect her to be the vocal, but I guess it's kind of Shinobu's style, I guess. This type of an opening song, which is kind of only has music, and the art style, it's very different, that whole thing. Yeah. This opening is really beautiful. The visuals, it's really beautiful. It's really well done. I really liked it. Anyways, enough of the opening. Right. So yeah, then Aragi comes back, and you can see Shinobu and Hachiguchi are very concerned. They're so concerned they almost took out his cowlick. However, Aragi's cowlick grew back again. And yeah, they were concerned because they thought that they accidentally killed him, actually killed him. And he's not going to come back. Anyways, Gain is here, and Gain is pissed. And okay, so at first I was not understanding why Gain is pissed, and Aragi says, is she angry? But then I think I realized, correct me if I'm wrong, she's probably angry because she told Aragi that keep Shinobu suppressed for today. And that's why she says that, oh, I'm hurt. This is the amount of trust you have in me. Because technically she did tell Aragi that, oh, keep her suppressed, I'll take care of it. But now Aragi is here in this place with Hachikuji, so she's mad at the fact that he broke his promise. Is that why? I'm assuming that's why she's mad. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense why she's mad. It's probably that, because yeah, she told Aragi, don't go outside, don't keep her suppressed, and Aragi's just here. So yeah, anyways, so Aragi gets up, obviously without speaking anything, because he cannot really speak. He has the saliva in him. So he gets up, he immediately goes to Dystopia and gives mouth to mouth and gives the saliva to her. I love how Shinobu's like, is this how desperate you are? You finally have become this indiscriminate. I love the fact that this is the first thing that Shinobu thinks. Yeah, can't blame her. Aragi has that reputation, so you know, what can what can you expect from this dude, right? Anyways, so now then they realize that, oh, that's not what's happening. She is feeding her something, and she's coming back to life, or not really technically coming back to life, but her shriveled body is coming, you know, like is filling back up again. So yeah, and now here finally Shinobu's like, okay, this is dystopia. Up until now she was kind of like, you know, not really sure, because she's like shriveled up body and everything, but now she's like, yeah, this is dystopia, like no doubt about it. Okay, so now they also say like it'll take a little bit while for the moisture to properly, you know, like revitalize her. So it'll probably be next night. So we'll have to wait up until that time. Okay. Right. So this is where then Guyan says like, okay, so this is the prime suspect that I've been trying to find, but here's the thing: another mummy has been found. And that would mean that since she has been found with what time did she say? Wait a minute, let me check the time. She gives the time. Okay, the fourth mummy. In if the time of the crime can be narrowed down from the conditions it was found, then that would mean she said no. They don't give us the time. Wait a minute. Oh, so they just say it's tonight. They do, like the other ones, they don't really give us a time frame. They just say, oh, it's tonight. It happened tonight. Yeah, so there you go. That proves that it wasn't Dystopia, Virtuous Suicide Master, because she is here. She has an alibi, you know. And here, Guy says, like, I've kind of, you know, realized from the very beginning that it's probably not Dystopia. You know, something else is happening over here. So the fourth victim called is named Misago Kangu, and she was found at the bottom of a reservoir. She has been put underwater, and I think they say like they like tied some rocks to her or something like that. Just a minute. Okay, at the bottom of a reservoir. Yeah, she had weights attached to her and been sunk in the bottom. Yeah, so there you go. And now they're like, what the hell? This isn't something that a vampire would do. Like, this looks like some kind of a human-made like thing. Okay. So they say like there must be a few reasons why they did this. Number one, to make it harder to find. I can say that because Hachiku says I can say this because the condition of our rescue Miss Suicide Master was basically like that. She was found buried in a mountain. I think she says. Wait a minute. Yeah, like more like a mountain. Then they're like, okay, we'll listen to Hachikuji later. Let me talk about my report first. So Guyan says they found a code. So this time the code is a bit more complicated. It's like a few numbers here and there, and Aragorn's like, oh, prime number, at which Shinobu's like, prime number? I myself don't know what a prime number is. I doubt Dystopia knows what prime numbers is. It's definitely not her who's doing this, you know. So here we go. So this is where they come to the conclusion that the fact that the code translates to her name, Dystopia Virtuous Suicide Master, made her the prime suspect. But now, you know, now that we have this whole situation in with us, if it's not her, then someone else is trying to pin the blame on her. And yeah, so this is where Araki says, like, then for other suspect, what kind of vampires do you have in mind? Like, who else is doing this? So she says, I'll avoid going to specifics, so I can assume that a vampire out there who wants to place blame on Suicide Master. There you go. Okay, here's a little bit of a message. Suicide Master, been a while. Do you remember me? It's me. I'm the vampire of prepared death, inevitable death, and certain death. Did you forget? I left a simple code, but did you solve it yet? Okay. Yeah, if I can fake the famous suicide master as an assumed culprit, they can safely continue with the vampiric activity. That's what's happening. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Wait. What does she say here? Wait a minute. Okay, even if it was a living message, that is, if a vampire faces a high school girl and introduces themselves, like, I'm the vampire, prepared death, inevitable death, and certain death, dystopia virtuous your suicide master, and if the victim took it in hook, line, and sinker, the likelihood she leaves that name behind is high. Wait, so she's saying that the victim is the one who gave the code, but didn't we prove that that's not possible? Because if it's a victim, how, like, who would think of such an elaborate code while in a situation like that? Oh, no. Okay, I understand. Oh, it's not the victims who are putting the code. Yeah, it is the person who is the culprit who is putting the codes. But as Guyan says, that people would think that the victim is the one who is living these living messages, and whatever name is this person is indicating to is the culprit. Because that's the thing, anyone who leaves any type of dying message or living message, whatever it is, the one thing that they would do is try to identify the culprit, and that's how the code would be. So that is why the person who is doing this, the culprit who's probably leaving the codes, are like leaving the codes like this, and it's like the name that they're writing in the code is Dystopia Virtuoso Suicide Masters. This person is doing this so that the blame falls on her, and everyone else who finds the body thinks that this person is a culprit. That's the plan. Okay, yeah. Right, so this is where Guyan also mentions that the fact that she is here means that the other specialist will get involved in it. And unlike me, who's a moderate, the extremists are going to try to wipe this person out. Unlike Shinobu, who has been deemed harmless, she's not been deemed harmless, and she's like one of the one of the strongest vampires. So the extremist specialist will probably come and try to take her out. She says, I'm a moderate, so I wouldn't do such a thing. Yeah, this is where Aragi remembers that Guyan called Miss Kaganui over, and Kaganui is the one person that in the industry can punch an immortal apparition to death. So if she comes here, like, she's going to come before before the next day. So by the next day she's going to come. So if she comes here, things will be bad. So we have to solve the problem before that. Okay, so here we go. So they're like, where did we find the code? In the smartphone. So in the smartphone, this is the number that was on the screen. I deduced this may be perhaps a message, and that's a code. So Guyan took a picture of the phone in which the code was there. So 820, 280, 610, and 160. Right. Okay. So Ari is like, okay, can we wait until the tomorrow morning? Okay, so Guyan says like, okay, like, I'm not good with codes, but the interesting thing here is like not the fact that a code was left, but the fact that it was left behind on a cell phone is a stronger element. Okay, so she's saying basically that the fact that it's left on a cell phone might mean something, might be a clue to something. Okay, this means unlike the previous victims, the phone was unlocked. Yeah, that's obviously true. And now the victim's personal information has been leaked in its entirety to me. Yeah. Yeah, so next she's like, okay, let's hear my Hachikuji's story. So Hachikuji says like, okay, basically what happened, she does a whole I think like I don't know, I think they call it, is it rakugo that she's doing here? I'm not 100% sure. Something like that, I think they call it, where someone sits down and speaks like that. Is it rakugo? I think it's something like that, isn't it? You know what, let me check. Or maybe I'm mistaking this for something else. Yeah, a form of Japanese verbal comedy. I was correct. Yep, it's rakugo. So she she does the whole rakugo thing. She's sitting down and she's saying what happened. So basically, in a nutshell, what happened is that she actually, while she was, I think, patrolling, she says, Virtuoso Dystopia, like she noticed a apparition passing through the barrier that protects the town, and she came here, and in a good way. She wasn't really trying to attack her or anything, as she says. She kind of even like changed her trajectory of falling when she found Hachikuji and tried to avoid her and fell inside the barrier in a very calm manner. So she wasn't really like trying to attack her or anything or come in a very violent way. None of that. Okay, so this is where Hachikuji is like, I asked her that who she is, and she introduced herself and said that she has come here to meet Shinobu. And Hachikuji is like, okay, like I am supposed to be guiding the lost because that's what type of god she is. She gave her the directions. Obviously, she didn't say what Shinobu's situation is like now. She just gave her the direction, and that is the end. She went on her way. Next, I think she says 1 week later, she finds her. Where's that part? Okay, I found the mummified visitor mercilessly buried in this mountain. Today she found her. Right, anyways. So, Gain is like, okay. Right, so Gain says like, interesting. I didn't think she would directly just drop in. I thought she's a vampire. She could like become a shadow or do something like that to like infiltrate. But as she has heard from Shinobu, this person is a gaudy person. She does stuff like this, and that's why she directly came in. Which also means that she's a very powerful vampire. Otherwise, someone wouldn't be this gaudy. Okay. Okay, so this is where Shinobu says like she's not the culprit, because right now she cannot eat any other food than myself. Yeah, which is true. We've seen that. It's not that she only eats delicious, she cannot eat anything other than delicious food. Interesting. So it's not that she is a gourmet by choice. She is a gourmet by necessity, probably. As Shinobu said, it's not that she doesn't want to eat other stuff, but she cannot eat other stuff. She only has to eat gourmet stuff. That's interesting. That's an interesting condition to have. Okay, my memories of those days are very hazy, but she says, as Suicide Master became weaker and weaker before my eyes, yeah, and she regressed into a child. And she's even more of a child now. She's a more, her original form was more older, perfect, and than me. But now she's even smaller than me. Okay. And that's why she says like that's why she's not the criminal. Like Suicide Master assaulting high school girls, walking around the tie. It is impossible. She's not gonna do it. Also, another thing, if you remember, Suicide Master never just kills. She kills and she eats. That is her thing. So she's not going to just attack people just for the sake of it. Without eating. So that's the thing. So she's not the one. Right. So Gain is like, you know what? Okay, I believe you. I understand. What you're saying. Right. So here also Aragi thinks like, why suddenly after all these years is she over here? Why did she visit here? Starved, weakened, and reverted into a new young girl. Perhaps she came here to eat her former buddy. but nobody knows. Obviously, we'll have to wait for her to gain consciousness. So yeah, now Gain is like, let me leave, I'm going to do my own stuff, like I have to do my investigation, while Hachikuchi is like, I'm going to go and do patrolling, even though it's a bit late, while Shinobu's like, I'm going to have a little bit of rest, I'm going to come back when like Virtuoso Dystopia wakes up, so we're going to meet back then. So everyone decided that they'll meet over here at night, and Aragi's on his way to like crack the code. Yeah, and then in the end, Aragi also says that they're not trying to hurry this because of some sense of justice or anything. And yeah, it's obviously they're doing it for that. Obviously, it is a part of the reason, but the biggest reason why they're trying to do it quickly is because like Kagane will be coming, and before she comes in the next day, they'll have to complete this whole like mystery and do something about it. Right, so that's where it ended. So good episode, and yeah, more mystery, more build up. So let's wait and see what happens. So that is it. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Monogatari off and Monster season. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.